Okay, we start our session, this evening session with a session of Ummul Kitab Al-Fatihah. Okay, so we will continue straight from what we left this morning. We talked about the opening, especially on this, what we call the London opening. So let's go straight to that. Let me open the London opening. Okay, but before that, this London opening or whatever opening that I show you previously, there are some type of category, some type of how they classify this thing. So if you look here, the one that I show previously, let's go to what we go, where is the question 3? Let's go to opening that we did just now. Okay, if you see just now, before we go to the London in more detail, let's see the one that I just show you in this morning, during this morning. They are like the classification for this. If let's say, okay, if the game starting E4, E5, we call this thing as we classify whatever game starting E4, E5, or we call it double E pound game, okay, or E4, E5 lah, E4, E5, we classify it as open game, open games. So just classification. If let's say you open other than E5, for example, black open other than E5, for example, Sicilian or this what we call the French, not French, yeah, this is Perk or French, whatever else, they call it, if the reply to 1E4 is other than E5, we call, so they call it semi-open, semi-open games. So this how people classify the chess ni lah. Yes, they can classify using the eco code, but people nowadays they don't remember the codes, so they just classify according to the characteristic. So if you open E4 and then whatever response is other than E5, then they are they call it as a semi-open game, or in other word, we can call it a single king pound opening. Okay, meaning that this single king pound lah. So the reply is not a king pound. So the one that previously is what we call double king pound lah, double king pound game. So we call it open games. And then so that is for open or semi-open. If you play D4 and then your reply is D5, so this is double queen pound. So this what we call double queen pound, double queen pound. I mean that the reply if D4, D5, so we call it as a close game. Close game. The classification is close game. They call it close game. And then when you respond other than D5, then they call it, for example, this Indians, whatever the NF6, the most popular is NF6. They call it what we call single queen pound. So they call it as a semi-close single queen pound. Let me put single queen pound. They classified as a semi-close game. Okay, semi-close game. Let me put the big semi-close games. Okay, and under the semi-close game, the most important branch is Indian defense. Indian defense. So Indian defense. So for example, let's say you play this and play this, white play this and play this. This what we call the Nimzo lah. This what we call Nimzo Indian lah. Nimzo Indian. Not yet Nimzo Indian, because Nimzo Indian start when white play this, and this is Nimzo lah. When you play the bishop to B4 This is what you call Nimzo lah. Nimzo Indian opening lah. Nimzo Indian. If let's say you play white play instead of this, but play NC3, if black try to play this, normally when black want to find Keto on this B7, they call it as Queen Indian. Now they have Queen Indian defense. Queen Indian defense. If let's say now instead of playing this, black play this and white play this, and then play this, and then play this, and so on. So like this. So this we call it as King Indian defense, or most famously called as KID. In previous class we learned, not previous class, I mean the previous class, we talked about King Indian attack. Okay, so King Indian attack meaning that from white perspective. But here is the configuration of King Indian's defense. Okay, previously before 2000, this King Indian defense is quite popular lah. When playing against D4 lah. So that's King Indian defense. So under semi-close game, there are many Indians defense. They call it Indian defense lah. And any opening that is not E4, D4, for example, you play C4 like this. This is what you call English. So this other opening than non. This is what we call flank lah, flank opening. Under category of flank opening lah. Okay, when you do any opening other than E4 and D4. Okay, so that's why if you look here, if you look this classification, you have this under opening tutorials here. You have open game, semi-open game, semi-open game part 2, because this quite big, Sicily is quite big, but basically semi-open is merged together as a game when you play a single king pawn opening, E4, and then whatever other than E5, and then close opening D4, semi-close opening, meaning that whatever different, whatever the response is not D5, and then English opening and reti system or flank opening. They don't put English and reti. They normally sometimes they put English and reti under flank opening. The reason being is that if you look here, English opening is quite respectable opening. So even if you go to the opening, what we call opening, this tabulation of the percentage of the statistic, this is from higher. This is not from the database. Let me open the database from the database itself, from the work. Okay, from the work mega database. Okay, so from this, if you look, so because this is like just a statistic, you can see that the C4 and F4, C4 is quite on the top. Okay, so that they sort put it as like what we call the very important opening lah. So that's why this English opening, they call it English opening, they stand by itself lah. But we still can say it as a flank opening. So that is a classification system only. No need to know in detail. It just is for you to study the opening. So now you have a structure to study the opening. It's easy if you have a structure. You know which one is which. Okay. So London opening is under close position, close opening. So let's go. Just now we go to London system. Okay, so normally in this opening encyclopedia, oh by the way, this opening encyclopedia, whatever this thing, is also a product of chess base. Just if you go chess base, you can find this chess base. Whatever chess base is basically a place where most of the important news about chess is gathered. So you see this Carlsen, the world champion just now, is win rapid, US rapid. So you get 30,000. So just like that, you just play for like few days and then you get almost 100,000 ringgit. You can buy a car. So if you are so good in anything, regardless you're good in chess or whatever, money will come to you. But provided you are very good in something lah. So yeah, So that's Carlson. So there are a lot of news in this thing. I just want to show you about the opening encyclopedia, normally shop. Everything can be downloaded lah. Just to show you where to get it. Not necessarily you need it. Okay, when I show this, I don't say that you need to buy it. No, it just I want to show you where you can find it. So it's easy for you later on, because I don't want me to talk something and then you don't know where is this, where to get this thing. So at least you know something lah. So this under database, still under database. And then opening encyclopedia is under here lah. So you see the price is around 900 euro. So basically around 400 ringgit. So whether you buy or not is depend on you. Whether you think that is it worth buying it or not worth buying it is really up to you. If let's say you play casually, let's say you play just casual chess, then no, not really need lah. But if you really plan, for example, you want to be like a coach, because coach also can make money. I mean, you can, for example, the money that I can get from coaching, then I can use it back to buy something like this or whatever lah. So it's up to you, depending on your level. What do you want? Do you want to be really a good player? Because even in Malaysia, okay, even in Malaysia, remember in Malaysia, in terms of chess, is not so high yet in terms of standard. So it's much easier for you to penetrate. It's much easier for you to win any tournament in Malaysia compare if you go to Europe. Or Europe is so difficult lah. Because their chess is something like makanan dia orang. It's like very staple food for them. So in Malaysia, for example, Safiddin, you can go play tournament and win like 400, 300 easily. Just go for one day and then you win that, and then next day, next week you go again and then you win. Then you get in 1 month you can make like 1,000, 2,000 ringgit like that. Yeah, just provided you must need to be strong lah. That's all. Okay, so for example, opening encyclopedia is under database. Okay, let's see first. Okay, normally in chess-base, when you have the previous version, then you get a small discount lah. But if not, it's around like 400 ringgit. So let's see first what is opening encyclopedia. The reason why I show you this is because later on I want to show you about what if you don't want all these things. You can go YouTube, Lead Chess, all that they have. But basically, I just want to show description here. Description. So basically, inside this opening encyclopedia, you have what? You have 1,000 opening articles. This is the article that I show you just now. This one, the one that I show you. For each one here, for example, under opening tutorial of idea for repertoire. So for example, not this. Yeah, this lah. Let me close this. I think better you look here. Yeah, this article, the one that just now we see, the article written by chess grandmaster or IIUM, so on. So you get the idea. I've shown you about the London system article just now. Later we will go back again. So this is the article. So it have around like 1,000 something opening article. It's like, you need to understand, 1,200 articles is like you have 1,000 page book. Okay, you have 1,000 page book. Okay, and then each article not normally like 2 page like that, so you have like 2,000 page book, like a dictionary. And then you have opening videos. Basically you have video, I think. Yeah, I don't really watch that video. Too lazy. Let me show you what is the thing, so that you have, let me close that. You have, let me close this first. You have videos. You have around like, for example, E4, E5, there are some videos. So all of this is like a prominent coach, normally grandmaster. For example, this is Mihai Marin, from grandmaster Mihai Marin. So they talk about Rai Lopez, very specific line, because remember, this opening encyclopedia is targeted to those who are very professional. So it's not like you don't get like very basic knowledge. No, you go like very high end preparation lah, because this is used by the grandmaster and so on. So you can see there are a lot, IM, GM, they talk. Okay, so that basically this thing, you have a video. So basically you see over 22 hours, over like 1 day's worth of video. That's a lot lah. That alone already sort of like sort of like make it somewhat worse lah of the investment. And then you have 7,000 opening survey, blah blah blah. So this is like a survey lah. And then they have database. So database here is not like 8 million database that I have just now. This database, if you bought this thing, it come also with database. What does it mean is that here, if I go to opening encyclopedia and I go to any this video. So let's say here. So for example, introduction. So let's go back. So let's say here, the one that we see just now, the London opening D02. Okay, London system by Knapp just now, right? London system. Okay, so the data. So all this thing, when I click here, the one that we looked just now, when I click that, this game not coming from the 8 million games that I have, the one that I say mega database whatever. So this meaning that you, apart from getting this opening encyclopedia and so on, you also get the games together with that, the database. But of course, database in this encyclopedia is just the one that they put lah, whatever this thing they have. Okay, so that's around like you have like 40,000 blah blah, and then whatever lah. So that is the opening encyclopedia, so that you know what is this thing, what is this, the all of this. Yep. Okay. So where we stopped just now, the London system, right? So let's go to the London system. This or not this. Okay. So this. So we stop at London system. Where is London system? I don't know where. Let me find. Double Queen, Gambit, decline. Where is London? Queen Indian, Queen Gambit, Catalan. Where is London? I just Queen Pawn opening. Let me just put like this. Maybe you can find. I show this London system. Bishop C5 and C5 like that. Okay, in London system, you commonly see that this is higher, but it's okay. This thing is I can close book file. It's okay lah. Do I need to close? No. Close book file, and then load static book. I don't want to use that. I want to use that's okay lah. It's just a book also, but it's not like a statistic from all the games like the one that I show you here. It's not a statistic like this. This is the just statistic. This is like opening book. They have the evaluation and so on. Just to show you, if I go to London like this, E3, and then black plane and C6, often you see that this different version, this different line. So I want to go to normal line, E6, and then C3, and then the normal line is what? Queen B6, right? Queen B6, yeah, Queen B6 like that. Queen B6, Queen B3. Okay, so you see that there are, even here from this book, they have many recommendations. It's not necessarily the one that in the article is the correct one. The one that in the article here, where is the article? Let me open the opening book here. So the opening in this article, this GM, they recommend this, but it doesn't mean this is the only way to play. You can play many ways, but at least here you understand why they play that. For example, they recommend to play Queen B6, okay, Queen B6 instead of others lah. So that the recommendation. So let me make it small. So let me make it small, so much easier to see together. So view, let's go to standard layout. Let's go to the mini board. Okay, I have mini board there, and then this I make it small a little bit, and I close this, and then so make it easy for you to so that you can see. Okay, so this I put here. So this myself here. So this I make it bigger here. Okay, so if you look here, the recommendation from this grandmaster is to play bishop at Queen to B6. Okay, This exploit the fact that the bishop already moved from the c1. Okay, when you are playing normal queen gambit decline, normally you don't put queen here. Okay, because the bishop is still here, so no use if you put the queen there. So because bishop now already at f4 here, so it's quite sort of like quite okay, not okay, I mean quite principle for you to move the queen here in order to attack this pawn. Okay, so if you look here, this exploit the fact that the bc1 has been developed prematurely. White must protect b2. So there are many ways to protect this b2. Either you play this, okay, or you play this, bishop b3. Okay, let's see this first, this variation first. Normally, you can find this, for example, you see, obviously the most common move, okay, obviously the most common move, because since queen c1 is not dangerous, so this, he said, the writer said this is not very dangerous. Okay, because why? Because black already can be developed easily lah. So normally those who by the way, those who are not mute their mic, please mute. But if you want to ask something, then it's okay, because I afraid later on during when I upload the recording there are some background noise if you forget to mute the mic. Anyway, but if you have any question, you can just open the mic and just interject me. Okay, so in this position, the queen can go to c1, but you can see that by moving to c1, it seems like white is just reacting to what black did lah, and it's not so, people said not so good for white. It's like white is less active here, even though white is the one who moved the pawn first. Okay, so that's why here black can easily hit for straightforward and good setup. So actually here they don't open this first. They don't yet open this. What is the line they use? This is not open yet. They don't open yet. So let me go a little bit down. Okay. Oh wrong nih, because wrong move order. It doesn't really matter, but the idea is that for white, they normally do the triangle setup, and for black, either they move this out first or they just close this first. There are two ways lah, but the most principle according to this writer is that black goes straight away to b6 and left this pass open, not to close it yet. Okay, so the reason for that is because when black play this, and then if white play this, then black can have easy development by putting this, and then let me put the null move, insert null move, and then insert. Oh, it's so small, so cannot ni lah. It's okay lah. So the idea is that black will go here and then come here, and then bishop go here, and then go castling, and then go castling, and then this rook can go here. So the development for black will be easy. Okay, if white play queen c1. Okay, that's the reason why cancel. That's why white normally try to oppose the black queen on the b3 by playing queen b3. Okay, when you face this opposition of the queen, normally you can find this opposition in many opening lah. So normally when you oppose the queen like this, normally those who are those who capture, normally they call it like loss, not loss in the term of absolute loss, meaning that losing psychologically. Okay, because for example, if black take that, okay, black take the queen on b3, white can have this semi-open file. Okay, and semi-open file for the rook, and also this, as I said, this double pawn is not really weak, because you can always do whatever, and plus here you have this what we call this the structure here is, this double pawn is not really bad. Okay, so that's why normally black will not take this. Okay, even though it's double, but it gives some advantage to white to open the file for the rook on this rook lah. So that's why they black normally doesn't capture. Okay, so and also white can also play this thing. White can also play this thing. This is what Faiz played against Safiddin. Later we will see what Safiddin did against Faiz for this game. Okay, so for here, black can play this in the Faiz Safiddin game. Faiz is white. Black play bishop b5. Here it's not really what we call blunder yet, because you have this, you have capture here. You have capture here. Did they say something? Okay, bishop f5 is fail here because you have this. You have this intermediate move. Okay, you have this intermediate move. So any capture is not really ni lah. You can take capture lah. And then this here white have better, because this pawn is, even though as I said before, it's not really bad. It's not really bad, but the structure here favor. I mean the white can, what we call, white can be satisfied lah. You can see here white can be satisfied. It's not saying that this structure is bad, but because you still have this c3, and then black can go up here, can go up and remove his weakness. It's just to say that white can be okay lah here. So let's go back. Okay, that's why at this moment bishop c5, bishop f5 is not really work lah. Because of this intermediate move. Okay, so we will see this queen c3 later on, but let's see the most common move, queen b3. Okay, as I said before, when you oppose each other, whoever capture considered as lost psychologically lah. So here, that's why here white play, let's see, is there anything? That's why black play this bishop c4, because now white want if when black play that, now white can need to either capture or going back. If this going back, if white going back, now this work lah. This work. This not sacrifice, this decoy, we call it decoy working, because now there are no intermediate move. So if you take this and then this what we call this is what we call free, and then you can get the rook lah. So that's the different, even the subtle difference like that, just moving the pawn here and then make a big difference lah, make a big difference. Okay, so that's why if white goes back and then it just waste time lah. So that's why most of the time white will capture on b6 and black will take on b6. Okay, now in this moment, what to do, what plan for each, what we call each side. Okay, so let's see if there is any. So it's queen d8, so this is not taking lah. So normally here the idea for black is quite clear. The knight will go here, and then because he want to no, you don't need to go there anyway. You don't need to go there, but normally white will play this in order to prevent this, in order to sort of like hold this b5 square. So that's why when white play that, black normally play knight here to support this, and then break the here together with the opening this thing and castling and so on lah. So that's the idea. So that's why most of the time white this is one of the way. If white play like this, black can just push that and then play on this b5 lah, play on this b5, you move the pawn over there. But in the recommendation, let's say white play queen c2, queen c2, which is more safer lah. In this way, white try to sort of like preserve his piece. Okay, white normally they want try to keep the piece as much as possible on the board, because he is the first one to move the pawn in the game. So he want to sort of like preserve whatever on the board as long as he can, because by doing that, being the first one to move during the game, he can sort of like accumulate the tiny advantage. That's why you can see normally black in the opening, they try to exchange because to get equality, but white try to keep as much as possible piece on the board in order to use it for attack and so on, because white have tiny slight advantage in the opening due to his the privilege of being the first one to move the pawn in the beginning of the game. So let's say here like this, and then we see. So here, black play this. Okay, it's not a blunder. It's not blunder. This what? Is it here? C4. Oh, it's already C4. Oh, it's already here. Oh, that's why. No. Sorry. So this one. White play this. Normally this. Okay, normally white doesn't take lah, because of that thing that the black can push the pawn forward and so on. So black go here. So now black play this, and at this moment, this when you take this, it's blunder lah, as we see before. So white goes here, go to C1 in order to still protect the B2 pawn. And then here we see the recommendation here. So black will play E6. Okay, black will play E6 in order to open up the all this thing. Okay, because now the bishop already coming out from this it's already coming out. So then you can close the what call the diagonal by playing E7 E6. Okay. And then normally white play this. Okay, and then this is the thing, queen d8. Okay, you should not wait too long before playing this, or else what will somehow get b2 or b3, b2 to b3. Because the idea for white here, in order to break this, because if you see this bishop is quite ham under this this position for white. So one of the clear plan for white is to break this thing, to break this what we call this the pawn. Okay, so in order to cancel. Okay, so the recommendation here is that queen go to d8. The reason being is that if you play this, and then white can support by playing this thing lah, by playing b7 to b5. Okay, and then white don't want to do this, and then black play bishop e2, and then black play s6 in order to save this thing and so on. And then yeah, that's it. Of course, the detail you can see the game and so on. Let's see the game lah. Let's see one game regarding this. Let's see this one valley game. So if you look here, so this is the position that we see just now. Okay, so we see how black, so this is black winning. It doesn't mean that here the position here is winning for black. No, it just show that it's easy for black to play. Black won here is because of some mistake in the middle game or end game, but it's not because of the opening. It's just to say that the black can have an easy game here lah. It's not difficult for black to play this position. That's what all this about. Okay, so let's see how the black play. So you see, so you go to d8 in order to push the b7 pawn. So you see, I just go quick. So you see the plan for the black is quite easy. You put the rook at c5, and then you can cancel later on. The bishop here, the bishop on this is quite active, because even though it's at the original square, the bishop, one thing about the bishop is that even though the bishop still at its first square for the black here in the perspective, it's already active. It's already active. So the bishop, even though you don't put it outside, is still active. But compared with the knight, if the knight at the back is not really active lah, because the bishop is a long range piece. So you it's okay. This still active. So see how black play. Okay. So white need to prevent black from push the pawn and break the queen side. So that's why he played this. But by playing this become weak. Okay. But just let's see how. So black will open the queen side, and then open the this, and then play here. So because of this lah, you try to sacrifice, because white is quite suffocated here, right? The position of white is quite suffocated, so it's not really sacrifice because you can just take this. Yeah, but we can see now the idea for black is to try to play on the queen side. So this is what we call the queen side for black lah. So if you look here, so the idea in London for black to play against London is to try to find his own chance on the queen side. Okay, so that's the idea in London. Okay, so if you have this in mind, then it's easy for you to sort of like get the idea for planning lah. For example, let's say black play this, let's say black play this thing, yeah, let's say black play this, and let's say white play this. Okay, so even though like this, at least now you already know the plan for black. You want to push this thing, so you can just put here and then count, and then sort of like push and so on. So in London, in order to play in London under this variation, the plan is to play on the queen side and so on. So that's one of the reason why this opening encyclopedia is useful, because it gives you the idea. Okay, you can go to the your freeze or what your what you call your chess base freeze or whatsoever, and open this, and open whatever. Let's say I make it view standard layout. Okay, you can just play in the what we call in the game, or you can just go, if let's say you don't have this encyclopedia and so on, you can see the opening book depending what book you have. So normally when you have this thing, even you have this opening 3 book, you need to make sense why you play this, why you play that, why you play this, and so on. But if you have somebody to tell you the reason behind that, the way how you to learn, it will speed up the way how you learn lah. Okay, if not, you need to open the what we call open the engine and see why you give this for free and so on. So that's one of the advantage of having opening encyclopedia. I mean, not opening encyclopedia, I mean that the annotation, this is what I call annotation, the annotation by somebody who are strong. So they give you the idea of the planning. So this annotation, you don't really need this opening encyclopedia. You can just go to Google lah. Just go Google, find the Wikipedia, and then find what is the common tactic, common plan for that. So that's one thing. So for now, whenever you face the London, then you know how to play. Let's see one game, the Faiz and Safiddin game. Let's see, where is the game? Where is your game? Let's see Faiz and Safiddin game. Okay, so this game is basically, let me put like this. Let me put here. It's much easier so that you don't get distracted by the annotation on the right side. So this is Faiz against Safiddin. This is Faiz against Safiddin. Let me put this. Oh, this up. Okay, so we see that you can see. So this London. Okay, Safiddin is black, Faiz is white. We play. So this London we have learned before. Queen b6. Okay, so this is Queen b6 line. Okay, but Safiddin play the Faiz play Queen c2. Okay, so the main line, as I said before, is not main line, meaning that most people play this Queen b3 and so on lah. But Faiz play Queen c2. Okay, so we see now what Safiddin did. He take on the d4 and then take on d4. Okay, now the question, so it's quite different now. But now the question here, why Safiddin take with the e4, not on the c4? is this make a difference? This and this, does it make a difference? Okay, if you play this thing, let's say, if you play like this, you have this, you have this, you have this bishop f5 again, and of course, if you take, then you get this lah for free. You cannot take lah. This is blunder lah. If you not blunder, I mean, yeah, we can say blunder lah. You take, but the main thing is that why Safiddin prefer playing like this in the game, he play like this rather than this, is because when you play like this, okay, not only you allow this rook coming to the half open c5 quickly, so that's one thing lah. So it's much more better if you have the pawn here to protect that, and also if you if by playing this you have this open half open file toward the king lah. That's one thing. And also okay, if let's say here white play b3, you just take and then this thing. So in this position, it's not really strong. It's not quite strong, because first you need to support this, and also there are no pawn here. So this pawn doesn't do anything. It doesn't really have anything to attack. To not attack, I mean that to latch on later on. You need to go down until here, but until here you just eat lah. So normally they are pawn here, right? They are pawn here where the knight here. Then it's okay if you have double pawn, because you can use this as a battering ram to remove the what you call to exchange this pawn with this double pawn. But in this case there are no pawn here, so in this position the double pawn is not good lah. Okay. Okay, so coming back to the game, so e44 and then bishop f5, again bishop f5. But here queen f the Faiz white play queen b3. Okay, but here if the white play queen f5 is still okay. The reason being, this is not blunder. Okay, this is not blunder, but you need to calculate lah. This is not blunder because if you take on b2, you have this queen d3, queen d3, queen d3. Okay, see the difference between this and previous. If you see the main line like this, and then you c4 and then go down, coming here, you if you take, this is a blunder, because if black take on b2, now this queen cannot coming back, the d3 is no go lah for the queen. So this the reason why this is blunder, because the queen cannot go back, because now in the game this is not a blunder, because if even though black can take this what we call this rook, the white queen can go back and then sort of like trapping the queen. So you can do here. So it takes a lot of time for black to coming out from this corner. For example, let's say black play this in order to move the bishop to what we call to a3 and then support this queen coming out. White play this, and then if you go here, in order for queen to go here, it just go here. And then yeah, and then try to because now if you go here, you can just capture this lah, because this bishop is attacked by the knight. Remember, the bishop is attacked by the knight, so that's why this bishop, when this bishop come, the reason why this bishop come is to overprotect the knight here. Okay, to overprotect this knight here. Okay, so that when bishop come here, in order to help the queen coming out, okay, because now the queen the knight cannot take because it's open check. So the queen come to b3, and then the knight is protected and also help to attack this bishop. And then now after this, the white can castle, and yeah, at least what is already better here. Okay, so you see, getting the free, if you normally in chess we call this B pawn is poison pawn lah. There are some version they call this as a poison pawn. So sometimes it's okay, but be careful that your queen might get trapped. Okay, like this, your queen might get trapped if you're not careful. If you just take it just like that, if thinking that, oh, I already got the rook, so be careful lah. The queen at the corner can be susceptible to get trapped. So that's one thing. So that's why taking the f5 here, the bishop on the f5 is not a blunder here, because the queen coming back here and trap the trap the queen. Should the black play queen time b2. Okay, so now in the game, Faiz, white play queen b3, not taking the bishop. Okay, and then the Safiddin play e6. Okay, because if you take, then as I said, white have some advantage, already have the open file and so on lah. So and then now white take. Normally it should not, white should not take lah, because this just is black lah. Because now the plan for the black is very clear. You can just go up there. So because we already learned in the theory section before that one of the idea for the black is to move up this pawn. So black can start the plan by moving this knight to the to a7 in order to control this square, because now the bishop currently attacking this square, and then push the pawn forward and exchange this weak double pawn to black c3 pawn lah. So that's the reason why you try to look at the theory, what people said, so you can use the people idea to your game. Okay, if not, you are quite, if you don't know that idea of b4 b5, if you don't know the idea of knight a7, you will keep what to do here. So that's the advantage of knowing, having a knowledge of the what we call the opening. Okay, so let's go to the game. So the game here, so Faiz play nd2 and Safiddin play like this, and then bishop e2. And then this thing, this normal, you will find common in the London, this and also this tiny what we call tiny edge pawn move. Okay, as I said before in the previous class, be very careful when you move this edge pawn. Okay, here there are really specific reason lah why they open the edge pawn. Because they want to preserve this bishop, the bishop on f5, and also bishop on f4 and bishop f5. In London, this bishop on f5 is quite dangerous lah. The headache for the London is this. The headache for black in London opening is this bishop lah, because it's do a lot of thing here. Okay, so now black play g5. So it's quite bold move, pushing the thing. Here there are no queen already. When you have the position, this is middle game. If there is no queen on the board, then you can afford to play like this, to play quite bold and daring move. Because the king, we can say the king here is quite safe lah. Okay, because the queen, normally the tactic, most of the tactic, the checkmate tactic in the middle game happen because of the queen. The queen can go here and there, but there are no queen now, then it's okay, you can play this. And then bishop s2. Believe it or not, until here, if you have the opening book, this still theory. Okay, according to the opening theory, this still well under the theory. Okay, but after this is no more lah. Then you venture to do your own ni lah. Okay, so now Safiddin play bishop g6. Okay, and e5, and then take and take with the bishop. So now we can say the opening is over. So it's about the middle game. It's very important now you formulate a plan for the middle game. Because here, what to do now? Okay, the theory is the opening is ended. You learn about the in the opening theory that you need to play here and so on. But now the opening is ended. It's all up to you. So what the plan here? Okay, Safiddin play what? Safiddin play ND7, ND7, okay, ND7, which actually is more useful for you to play an E8 lah. Okay, the reason being, this bishop, the white bishop is quite powerful. We want, because in London this bishop is quite a headache lah. So it's good to exchange this bishop. So when you play knight here, you can just go here lah. Later on to you can sort of like challenge the bishop. Okay, it's much more useful lah. You play an E8 here. It's much more useful lah. Because once this bishop is exchanged, then black can sort of like thinking about expanding in the center. Because if you look here, the bishop here is dark square bishop. So it's control the dark square. In order for black to expand in the center, he need this bishop to get out. Okay, because now if the bishop is here, it still control this E5 and E5. So in order to play any expansion on the center, black need to break this bishop lah. Challenge this bishop. So ND7 is okay. It's not really bad, but it just doesn't have immediate plan. It doesn't sort of like, it's like one move attack. I call it one move attack lah. If you're playing at top level, normally they have, every move have a plan. Tiny plan that govern the overall scheme of the play lah. This is more or less one move attack lah. Of course, white will move this bishop. So bishop go out, and then what? So that's the thing. And this knight also doesn't really have any expansion here. Any expansion doesn't really have, because as we saw, the plan for the London is to expand on the queen side, because this is where black is strong. Okay, you attack where you are strong. You don't attack where you are weak. So the strength for black here is on the queen side. Of course, Safiddin win here. Black win here. If you see here, Faiz play with Safiddin. Safiddin won here. But remember, the winning here is not because Faiz make a tiny mistake later on. You will see lah. But up until here, the opening, we can see that it's equal. It's not bad for both. I mean, we can say it's equal position lah. It's equal position. Although we can say that black have a little bit advantage here.
Doktor.
Yes.
Macam mana kalau hitam nak attack kan, kita punya pawn structure hitam tu dia kan double pawn tu.
Nak attack.
Okay. B7 tu.
Ni. Okay, good question. So in order to attack that, one is to play this, but of course this is the blunder that you did, right? Faiz kena tanya tu. This is the blunder that most people did lah, because you cannot just, remember, even though it's weak pawn, remember the weak pawn, double pawn is weak normally, generally. But remember one thing, weakness is only a weakness if you can attack. Okay, weakness will be only a weakness if you can attack. For example, even though black have this double pawn, it's very difficult for white to attack this pawn yet. Okay, if let's say white can go to the endgame, yes, this totally a weakness lah. But for time being, we cannot say that this double pawn at b7 and b6 is weakness. So you cannot say that, okay, I want to attack that. So how to find the attack here? Because remember, they are positioned that even though you like to attack, but the position doesn't allow that. Okay, even though you like to attack, you need to play according to the position. If the position doesn't allow the attack, then if the position is close, then you want to attack. Of course, you cannot attack. In this case, you want to attack this b4 and b7 and b6, but you cannot attack. You don't have queen. In order to attack frontal attack, you need to put this rook here in order to do frontal attack. But of course, it takes time for the rook coming, going to the third rank. But how? How actually you want to go there? So that's one thing. You cannot attack there. The knight, in order to attack that, it need to move a lot in order to attack that. But still, it's quite difficult because if you go here, you cannot move here and here. If you go down, you come here, just take. So it's pretty difficult. It's look weak. It will be weak in the in-game, but it's not now. It's just another feature in the game where black can move there and so on. So what white can do here is just to play in the center, because now the advantage for white is the center. He got this firm grip on this d e5. So that's why what I say, you play where you are strong. You play where you are strong. So this, you need to sort of like try to play around here, not here, because you cannot get here yet. Okay, so that's one thing. Bishop s2. So Faiz go to bishop s2, and then now black play what? Black play rook fd8. Now the question, why rook fd8? If you don't have sort of like plan, the overall plan, then you might do something that is not understandable, because this can run into here, can run to bishop c7, but of course at this moment it's not really working lah. But at least bishop d8 can run into this problem. Maybe Safiddin do that because he want to, what we call, he want to, maybe Safiddin play that because when he want to remove the knight and then challenge the bishop on e6 lah. But much more easier if you go, because this knight, remember this knight, if you go here, the knight on what we call the d7 doesn't really do anything. It's not doing anything. So it much better for, not much better lah, I mean that one of the plan is to just go to fc again and aiming for an e8, and then aiming for view, aiming for what we call, let me insert null move, aiming for this, and also going for this to challenge this bishop. And once the bishop is challenged, then it's okay lah. And white, for white, you need to sort of like prevent that from happen. Okay, prevent that from happen. So that is cut and throw in the chess lah. You play and you prevent your opponent counterplay. So this going back and try to go here and exchange the bishop, and the knight here is much better lah than here. The knight at d6, at least knight at d6 is much better than at d7 lah, at least lah. So let's go what make Faiz loss. Here both is still equal. It's not really problem. It's not really problem because here let's say white coming back here in order to play this and then move the bishop here. What white can do is that just get the grip on this square, and then maybe black can play this, and then white can play this, and then whatever, f4 and bishop d6, and then f5. So it just, this is equal lah. So you cannot expect in game that you can just win. I mean, if you play against strong player, you cannot expect that the player will make a blunder. So the way how to win is to accumulate small advantage, find a plan. So that's the idea. But in the game, white play f4 and f6, coming back because this knight is no use there. So coming back and then take bishop c7. So this it seem like what we call white got something, but here is a trap because you have rook c8, and even though you get that pawn, remember this pawn is not really useful anyway. This pawn is not really useful. So if let's say white take it, and still okay. But yeah, why that is trapped? Because you have the knight coming back, and then this bishop more or less trapped, so it need to go here, and then you get this, and now the advantage goes to black. Because now, why? Because first you have a double bishop. First reason why black has advantage here. Second, you have this semi-open half 5 and also semi-open half 5. Second advantage. And third advantage is that what black have this center. White doesn't have the center, and also white have this very weak square, the e3 square. Normally for a beginner, the concept of square is quite difficult to grasp, but for the high level chess, the concept of weak square is very important. For example, here the square on e3 is very weak lah, very weak, and we see the bishop, the black have this black dark square bishop. So as I said, if you have bishop, opposite color bishop in the middle game, the opposite color bishop favor the attacker lah. Because here you see that the bishop here racking to this diagonal. No white piece can sort of like challenge this bishop. This white bishop, yes, this light square bishop, yes, white can challenge with this his own bishop. But this bishop is a monster. It's a monster here. Okay, so that's the reason why in this moment black can be said as already have the decisive advantage lah. So that's how just a very simple thing can change the evolution like this. Just this thing, this still equal, more or less equal, although maybe black have some tiny advantage because of this what we call the half open file. This is not a problem yet because cannot go attack that. But now the advantage becomes so big because of this. You get the double bishop, you get the half open file, you get the center pawn. So that's how good games, good player plays lah. They just slowly they try to good player. Normally when you play against good player, if you make mistake, they will punish you straight away. But if you are also strong player playing against good player, the way how the better player win is by slowly like a python, like a ular sawa kan. They just they blade you slow je. They slow, and then they tease you, they trap here, and then they suddenly you found that your position is just gone. So you don't know where you make mistake. So that's how good player play lah. They do something very, it seems insignificant, but they have like a plan ahead. Okay, so you take this, and then now it's already so now you see Safiddin use this e3 what I call e3 square, because this e3 square is very strong lah. And then you have double bishop, and the rest is basically just the ni lah, just the now is more toward endgame lah, and so on. And so we will go back later on when we talk about endgame. Later on, how to play against rook and bishop and so on, because rook and bishop endgame is quite common lah. So later on, when the time come, we will see again this endgame, the rook bishop pawn, because here actually somehow here, okay, yeah, actually this already still lost, but yeah, anyway. Let's go back to let's go back to this. Open this first. Okay, let's go back that. Okay, so this annotation that I put here is basically you cannot expect computer do that. This you need to do yourself lah. The reason why I can write all these things is because with the help of the engine also, and also have some idea with the London, you see on so on lah. Okay, so now let's see about one thing about chess opening is that no matter let's see Kur and Aisyah game. Um, so I show you about how positional chess lah, how to play positionally in London. Now the problem is, especially for the sister, most of you lost because of this tactical. So no matter how good is your position, if you lose tactically, then it's no use lah. So let's see. So this is Aisyah against Kur during selection. Kur win. So we see here. This I already discussed in the maybe the first session, but I just have to show you. Okay, so this is mistake. This is mistake you take just for free. I mean, pound. We discussed it when we discussed about relative value of the piece. So that's already you already give 1 knight. Okay. By right now, white should win, right? Because no, white should lose lah because you give a knight for this. But just to show you about tactical lah. So first, don't just give for free like this. No matter how good is your opening play, if you just give piece like this, then yeah, no way lah. You cannot just give piece like this. And then you take, of course you will get something. Can you take this thing? You can take this thing actually. You can already take that. Check. It's not really giving for free, right? Because you have this check. You have this check, so you can get back whatever you give for ni lah for black. So not only this is wrong, not only this is wrong, but also black can get another piece by checking. So remember, for sister, always the problem is here. The diagonal, the weak diagonal. Not only the F pawn is a weak, is problem later on, but also from this A5. So this check, okay. Always be careful about that. So yeah, should play like this lah. The black should play like this. Much easier to win lah, because you get like 2 piece already. So and then but black play that, and then C3. I don't know why. You just castle lah. Because yeah, maybe you want to prevent this, but then why not you just castle? It much more faster, and also you, when you castle, not only you make your king safe, but also you sort of like what we call activate your rook. We call it connecting the rook, because once you castle, the rook is sort of like connected. So not only you saving your king, you activate your rook, you connecting your rook. Okay, so maybe that's the reason why Aisyah play C3, and then bishop A6. Yeah, okay, bishop A6, and then Aisyah play take this, take on E6. Now giving another free piece. Okay, so be careful for the sister. Loose piece, drop off, LPDO. We call it LPDO. Loose. LOS, loose, LOOSE, loose piece, drop off, LPDO. People, they have this acronym there. So this basically here, this bishop is loose, and you need to do something lah, because you can, now you give it for free again. Okay, this is free piece, right? Okay, but Kur also play quite strange. You take that. Maybe Kur afraid about this check. Okay. Maybe Kur afraid about this, what we call the intermediate check. Intermediate check. We call it intermediate check. Okay. But this is about calculation lah. This you need to calculate a little bit. You get a piece, but you be careful about this. But it's not really, this check doesn't do anything much, because you can just get out. Okay. Get out like that. And be careful not to take like this, because you have this queen d5. Okay, queen d5. Queen d5, and then you get the rook. But if let's say king go to f6, What will you do? What will white do? Now you have this. Now you have this. You can take that. You can take. You may take this thing. Remember, the black already get a lot of piece because white giving free piece, a lot of piece. If white capture here, okay, if white capture here, then white can simply go and black will have advantage because you have the center and so on. Okay, even though he lose rook, but remember white already giving a lot of piece previously. So here we can say black have the advantage even though the rook is captured here. Okay, but here, uh, if you do like this, then this is draw lah. This is draw. That's why here we, even though white is black is sort of like winning, it's not winning actually, because you don't take because if you take, then white can have perpetual. The best move is to play this. Okay, very careful about this check, about this, whether you take or not, because if you take, white can play this and gain the perpetual, meaning that draw. Of course, white go this. White will not play this. As I said before, if white play this, then he lose lah. She lose lah, because black can go here, and now this is protected by the queen, and also can go here and so on. The reason why this is wrong, why taking this is wrong, why black take this is wrong, is because white is able to do perpetual. White is able to do perpetual because here, let's see here, and then king f6, and then white can draw by playing king e5. Okay, just draw lah, king f7, and then repeat again. Okay, repeat again. So this, be careful, even though in middle game, in middle game or in the opening, even the in the opening event, be also careful about this perpetual check, even though you think that you already have a lot of piece. If you look here, black already lose 2 piece, right? You already not 2 piece, I mean white already, if you count here, you have like bishop and knight, and black have what? Bishop, knight, and then bishop and knight. I mean, you have extra 2 piece, bishop and knight. But remember, if let's say your king is not safe, for example, your king is here, then white can settle with the perpetual here and there lah, here and there. So be careful also. Don't get quite greedy with taking any, what we call, any piece, because also look also about this perpetual. Okay, so all that thing, but in the game, could take the, what we call, the pawn. Could take the pawn instead of taking the bishop. As I said, you can take the bishop. You take this, just go here and win lah. You don't take here. Okay. 2 piece is more than a lot of advantage lah. Even though the king here cannot get, what we call, cannot castle anymore, but you already have 2 piece in advantage. So you can just continue with this and just move here and then put bishop here and then make the rook come out, and then you hide the king later on in the side, inside, and then, or just take the pawn. Okay, so but the Kur just take the f6 on the e6. Maybe she doesn't want to get into the complication, and then what play? Let's go down. Bishop e6. So white take the bishop, take, and then ne5. Queen f. This just to show you very fast. So now, Aisyah play f4, which be careful. Always careful about this, moving the f pawn up, because you weaken this thing, this diagonal. Always be careful about that. And yeah, and Kur did this check on diagonal, but the problem with Aisyah, he just go there and checkmate lah. So you just basically just ni lah. But still if you play this also, still black already have what we call, you have one you have this 1 2 3 piece, and white have only 1 2. So still black is winning. But when you play like this, king f1 instead of g3, yeah, black can just win straight away lah. So that's one thing. Even though you know about the opening, the principle of the opening, you study the opening, be always on the lookout for the tactic. Because no matter how good is your opening, if you miss tactic, then it's gone. That's one thing lah. Okay, so that's about the tactic. Let's talk about the counterplay. The counterplay meaning that a game about let's talk about the counterplay. Counterplay. Let's see this game. Game no, this no. Let's see game by Khalid. Okay. So in opening, sometimes you want to prevent the counterplay from your opponent. Okay, Khalid play e3. You know Khalid move right, e3. E3 doesn't really control the center, but now we cannot say that it is too far to say that this move is bad. Okay, I don't say it's bad, but it just I can say dubious lah. Because 1 or 2 mistake in the opening is okay, because you can still correct it, unless you do like blunder lah. But a mistake in the middle game or in the end game then cost you a lot. I mean much more drastic lah. The change of evolution will be much more drastic. But in the opening, yeah, it's still okay if you make some mistake. Of course, in top level, then no chance lah. But in our level, that's still okay. So let's say c5, okay, and then b3. You know Khalid, he played it this. Okay, a5. Now, black play a5. Okay, this what we call premature. Premature. Essandro, this during the selection, Essandro play a5. This is premature because if you look at the black position, all these things still not developed. Okay, if you want to attack, please make sure your piece is fully developed. I mean, at least fully developed, and also the center is what we call firm lah. You have firm control in the center. We don't say this is a mistake. I don't say this is a mistake. Okay, I don't say this what we call this a5 is a mistake, because if you look at the center here, there are nothing in the center, so there are no tension in the center. Problem when you try to move anything in the flank. When I say flank, it mean that on the side lah. This flank, the side lah, the flank. If you want to attack on the flank, please make sure either your center is firm, meaning that you have firm control in the center, or either it's blocked or nothing happen in the center. Because let's say this center is volatile. For example, let's say I put this what we call the null move. Let's say just imagine in the center you have something like this. Just imagine lah, something like this. Okay, something like this. So this is what we call a volatile center. Anything, it can drastically the center can drastically change at any time. So when you have this volatile center, it's very unadvisable for you to launch any side attack, because your opponent might change the center, and when the center is changed, the piece can be easily moved from to defense or to attack your camp. Okay, so here this is still not a problem, because the center here, the red square here, is not really there. It's not really volatile. There are no tension in the center. So we can just say it is interesting or dubious. interesting or dubious, depending on what perspective you want. For me, it is dubious lah, because the development, black neglect the development. But for some people, they may think this is interesting, so it's okay. But it's far to say this is a mistake. Okay, so now f4. The problem with this, okay, so Khalid play f4. The problem with this, now each side try to attack, right? Try to attack, and of course still okay, because the center is still nothing here. But the problem now is that black can move, can ram. We call it battering ram, RAM, battering ram. White can go this thing, break through straight away, like A4, like that. Just sacrifice this pawn, because if you even though you take this, even though you take this for free, now the rook here have this what we call semi-open file lah, semi-open 5. It's easy for you to attack, like we learned in the London just now. The A5 or whatever file that is open for the rook make this rook active. So black should respond by playing A4, just sacrifice it, and if you take with knight, and then just D5, play in the center, and then try, because this already now, the position now is already open. Okay, yeah, it's better, it's easier for white to play, because the what you call the threat now is to play this, and then if the knight go here, and then you can just put this whatever lah, and then you can take this A2. So the good way to play is to move this thing straight away. But that's why this F4 here, the Khalid move F4 is not really recommended lah, because it doesn't address the what you call this A5 move. Okay, so it's better for Khalid to play A4 to just stop the thing from get rolling. Okay, and then play F4 whatever you want to play lah. Just prevent the counterplay. Remember, you can win, you can have you can get like a piece for free and so on. But remember, your opponent also can have the counterplay. So don't, you may have your own plan, but be also mindful about your opponent plan. Okay, don't just play your plan, but forget about your opponent plan. So F4, so Khalid play this, and this guy, the black, play D6, which is quite strange actually. I mean, why you play this A4 at the beginning? Maybe you want to play this because you want to go here, because now the knight and also the rook, the knight and the rook protect this A6 here and attack the queen, but just white just can move the queen somewhere else, so it's not really useful there. So it's not really useful move lah. If you play A5, normally the idea is to push, go through. So but yeah, there's black play this B6, and then white play this A4. So it's good to prevent this breakthrough lah. And then black play this, okay, but just move away. It's not like you get it for free. It's not like when you do like this, white will put the queen there and you can win by what we call by blunder and so on. So white will, whenever you play in the game, please don't always expect your opponent will make a good move lah. If you always expect, if you found yourself crossing your finger and thinking that, oh, please make blunder, then you will not what you call improve much lah. Because if you always expect your opponent, if you always mengharap apa, if you always mengharap, if you always pray that your opponent will make a mistake, then you cannot really improve much lah. Because at the if you play with the weak opponent, it's okay. If you play the opponent that is better than you, then they will not do like this silly mistake. So yeah, the white just move away and then take, and then this thing play with the center, and so H4. So if you look here, both sides try to attack, right? Both sides try to attack. White aim to break through here lah, and so on. And then black will so here black sort of like stop this attack from going on, and then white play that thing, just develop, go there, in order to move here, in order to move whatever here, and then black make this simple mistake lah, just giving the pawn knight for free. So if you look here, in this position, black and white at this is quite okay here, but the position can change drastically if you make a mistake. A tactical mistake like this can cost you easily the game. Okay, you get this for free. Okay, but if you look at this thing, if you look at the result, Khalid lose. Khalid is white, but Khalid lost. Right, white is lost, black is winning. Why? Because in this game, Khalid doesn't focus on the counterplay. I mean, he already got the winning position, but then white doesn't address the counterplay by his opponent lah. So what I mean by counterplay now, even though you get the free, this is like oversight lah. This is a blunder, but black play c4. Okay, one more thing. If you are playing and then you give your piece for free in this tournament later on masuk, please don't resign. Because in short time, for example 20-minute time control, anything can happen. Anything can happen. Just play. I mean, if you resign, still you lose. If you play, maybe you can win. So just play. But of course, at high level, if you make this mistake, no chance lah. But at least in this online tournament later on in this Masum 2021, if you make give a blunder and so on, just play. Who knows, right? Who knows that you can win? Maybe your opponent lost on time. Remember, if you lose on time, you still lost, regardless you make a excuse or not. Okay, so maybe your opponent lost on time. So yeah, just play. Okay, now c4. The reason why this is counterplay is because now the king is on the path of this thing, and now this what we call this black plan to open this path lah for the king. Okay, so now c4. So what should white play? What should white play here? What should white play here? So here, white play rook g1. If you look here, white try to play his own plan, but neglect black play. Okay, so in this case, if white is dynamic, okay, the dynamic play, if let's say white want to play, if white want to address what is black doing, he can play bishop takes. Because if you play like this, at least there are no pin. You see, at least there are no pin. Of course, the structure is broken, but still this pawn prevent the pin. There are no pin. Because the idea now, the idea of c4, the c4 here is basically want to break this, and this pawn take again, and then they are pin. So in order to prevent that, either you can play like this, just take it, and then of course the pawn is scattered, but no problem because you already have this free knight here, so you already have some advantage. Just one pawn is still okay, and you can really easily control the. You can easily defend lah, because this knight is pretty good lah here. And also you can play d4. Okay, you can play d4 because when you play d4, if let's say black play like this, then you can just take with the knight, and there are no pin also. There are no pin there. If let's say white play like this, still they are pin, but now the diagonal, you see the diagonal here is closed, because this pawn is like a granite closing the diagonal for this dragon bishop. I call it dragon bishop lah. So you see, the problem in this game is that not only this file is open, but also this diagonal later on will open. So that's will cause that's allow black have very strong counterplay lah in this game, even though white already get this one knight there. Okay, so now that's how you should play lah. That's how white should play. either take or play like this. But white play like this. We understand that white want to play this and attack by themselves. But this is the case where you use your plan, you too engrossed with your own plan, and you forget that your opponent also have their own plan. So the chess is about you do your plan, at the same time you prevent your opponent plan. That's how chess should play lah. But if you just play your plan and you neglect your opponent plan, who knows, there are surprise happen while you are attacking. Your opponent already checkmate you on the other side of the board. So that's why you plan, but also consider your opponent plan. Okay, so Khalid play rook g1. Okay, and then this black play take on b3. So take this thing, and now you can see this is open and this is open. So that's dangerous. Okay, and then this is good move. Black blast open lah, because he doesn't want white to play, because if now white have time, if now this is white move, then white will surely play this move lah. This what we call this d4 move. At least by playing this d4 move, this bishop will be tame. I mean, will be blocked lah. So it just need to consider this rook on this c8 ni lah. But black here, without giving any time for white, so this is how you attack. You don't give time. If you have time to attack, you just attack. I mean, you need to know lah, don't make a blunder. But at least if you have chance to attack, you need to attack. If not, the attack will be evaporate. So Essandro, the black play d4. Okay, and then yeah, you cannot move the knight because the pin. That's the reason. The pin, the counterplay, and then like that. So now queen time d4. Queen take d4. So now everything now attacking on here and exploiting this thing. It seems that white cannot losing pound after pound, because this is weak, this is weak, this is weak, and so on. And also at the same time now this is attack. Okay. So now in this moment we cannot say that white is losing. This moment still white is winning, because remember, white already get this knight. It just now the position is prime for black to leash the counterplay should white doesn't defend accurately. Okay, so when you are in this position, you are already get this what we call already get a piece for free. The knight just now at this a6 here, this a6, the knight here. The way how you to play is just to consolidate first, because now you don't just go your plan, because you want to make sure your thing is safe first, and then using your advantage in material, you slowly accumulate your advantage lah. So here the what we call so white play this thing. White play this thing. This is good. I mean, this is okay lah, because white coming back to defense lah. Still, this is not winning for black. But you see later on why white is losing. Another way to protect this knight is just play rook to f ni lah. Rook to f1 lah. Okay, because regardless this pawn is already, because here you can see that at this moment here, this pawn is attack and this pawn is attack. White need to choose which one. Of course, you choose knight, right? So either you go back like in the game, or you can do like this. And this is much better lah, because if black take, at least now you have this something to work on later on. But in this position, it's good for white to move out from this, what we call, from this semi-open file lah. And that even though now we give this queen take another pawn, and your queen can go back and then start attack from there. Okay, so now black is ready to push. Now white is ready lah to push whatever to play this and so on. Okay, so this is what we call art of consolidation. You retreat back. Okay, let the opponent take the pawn whatever because your piece is much more important, and then getting out from this line of fire. Okay, so this line of fire, so that is art of taking time to saving yourself first before you launch the attack. Okay, so this is the way how you should play lah. In the game, Khalid play queen e2, still okay, not good, not bad. And now take, and then g3, and then queen b4. Okay, so now the idea now, black threaten to this, threaten to play nd5 and break all this thing, unleash the bishop and also attack the knight. Okay, so that's the threaten. So this is the problem. Queen b5. Okay, because this allow black to equalize. Because here the black play queen d4, but the correct way is to play is rook c5 lah. Rook c5 because now the queen is sort of like trapped. If the queen go away, then the knight d5 crushing. This is winning for black. Okay, this is winning for black. So this move, the queen go here, seeming like you want to exchange the queen, but black have this intermediate move. So now if the queen go out, then the knight coming in, and if you take this, then you just get the what we call the knight, and the position become equal again lah. Because you give the knight for free. Black, remember, black give the knight for free, and now you get back the knight lah. So that's the mistake. One mistake for the white, because you go there thinking that black will take the queen. Remember, when you play some move, your opponent doesn't oblige to capture. Maybe he or she will capture, maybe not. Okay, so queen b5. And then we go to but here black play queen d4, not play rook c5 lah. So go here back again, and then coming back thinking that okay, can be draw or not, and then Khalid go back again. So this repeat again. Remember, if you do this 3 times, even though this is still middle game, then it's draw. Now it's twice. If you do 3 times, it's a draw. It's in what we call, if you look here, there are 3-4 repetition. If you get the same position, regardless how many move you move, and if the position on the board occur 3 times the same position, then it's draw. But you need to claim lah. Ask the arbiter lah. But when you play chess, the computer will do it for you lah. But when you play physical, that you need to know that thing lah. So now queen b5, and then queen d4 again. Okay, ns3. So now doesn't want to draw, so ns3. And then now rook c5. Now you get c5. Now the thing got lah. Of course, this also win straight away lah. Already win. This also win. But now this will make the white become ni lah. So king e2, and now queen b4, and then king c2. Okay, the good thing is that you should just white should, when you are pinned, you just go away from the pin. But calculate lah. So king c2, and then at last black get this chance to play knight d4, unleashing this dragon bishop. I call it dragon bishop, unleashing this very powerful bishop. This dragon bishop or Catalan bishop. Normally Catalan is here. Be careful about that. If you unleash the bishop, it can be very very powerful. And then you cannot take because the queen ni, and then because of the pin and so on. Queen e3, and then black try to take more firepower, put more firepower. So the problem is always because of this spin. This spin. And then whatever, and then take, whatever, blah, blah, just exchange there, and then you get just queen lah. So the crux for this problem is coming from what? Coming from here. The problem. Even though white already get an extra advantage, remember the learning outcome here is this. The learning thing is this. Even though you win something in the opening, doesn't mean you can win straight away. You need to work something, and always look out for the counterplay. For here, the counterplay is on the c5. So the good thing is to take to block that thing, or to play d4 to block the bishop path. In the game, Khalid play rook g1. This allow this opening of the c5, and this all the problem come because of the c5. So this game teach you about what we call about the importance of counterplay, to preventing the counterplay. You might get the piece, you might get a free pawn, but always careful about the counterplay. Normally the counterplay occur when you in the opening. In the opening, counterplay occur when you play Gambit. You play Gambit. Okay, let's go a little bit on this what we call the opening part. Oh, there are a lot here. Where is the thing? Let me see. Okay, so this opening again. So in the opening, if you play e4, okay, e5, sometime if you are black, you will see your, normally long time ago, this type of opening is famous. This is what we call King Gambit. King Gambit. Okay, what did I say about this opening? This line is not really good, right? But this opening is quite respectable. Long time ago, early days, this queen pawn of this king gambit is quite normal. It's quite normal. But nowadays, you don't really see this king gambit anymore because of this weak square, and nowadays modern players, they know how to play against the king gambit. But if you don't know, then it's quite problematic also because this king gambit, the idea of king gambits, okay, the idea you can also always go to this and find the king gambit and so on. Where is king gambit? So you have king gambits, blah blah blah. But let's see the tutorial opening tutorial, open games, king gambits. So this just give you the introduction The king gambits, if you look here, the king gambits was a fashionable opening in the 19th century. Not now. Now you don't really see that. The reason because of that, the idea is that white is willing to sacrifice the f pawn, because when you sacrifice the f pawn, you have this like the f file, and then you get this you get this f file, because normally the king will be castle here, and the rook here, when the rook is here, is looking down here at the f7. So that's the idea behind the king gambit, is attack. So this is gambit, what we call, they give, you see the opponent give you free pawn, but by taking that pawn, your opponent gain time. Okay, so this king gambit. Okay, so let's see something about king gambit. Just get you, so you to get some idea Okay, so let's see something about the king gambit. Okay, so let me put here so that you can see that. Okay, so let's see about king gambit. So king gambit is like this. f4. It give like, it's as if give a free pawn, right? So you take, and then f3. Normally when you make this f pawn, this square is weak. So that's why this nf3 is quite important move in order to prevent any check here. Okay, to show you the danger of the king gambit, is you can see this in this Muzio gambit normally in king gambit, black will continue play this thing g5. So you see it's quite aggressive game for if you accept the gambit. In this case, we say that white offer a gambit and black accepting the gambit. Okay, so when you play like this and the main line is this, okay, g5 is normal lah, it's normal. Even though for those who are never play king gambit, this is quite wow, this is crazy. But this pawn is protected by this queen. So and then this pawn is planning to go down and ram all this thing. So one of the idea of king gambit is that white is giving a pawn for free. Not for free lah, you can get back again, but mostly for free. But by giving that pawn, white get time to show you how dangerous is that. Look, here is the Muzio gambit lah. So let's say from white perspective, white play bishop c4. Okay, bishop c4. This is king gambit Muzio variation. Bishop c4, and then let's say black play what you call g4. White can just castle. Okay. Oh, you give the knight for free? Yeah, it's free. Take. Okay. To show you the danger of this king gambit. And then you want to because you want to preserve this what we call this pawn. Because once this pawn is eliminated, then everything will be directed to this what we call to this f7, and it's problem lah. So that's why remember white already giving a knight now. Okay, so that's why black play this, and here black can white say that, oh, just a knight not enough, I giving you another pawn. So you give you another pawn. The reason why white do this is because if you take and then you have this sacrifice here. Okay, sacrifice there to, so you sacrifice because in order to, now it's pin. We remember the danger of pin in Khalid game, the danger of pin. Even though you get a piece, this is type of counterplay. Okay, so now black give another pawn, another free pawn. You take with check, but now white have this thing, this bishop e3. Bishop e3. Because it cannot take. Okay, cannot take because the pin. So that's the danger of pin. And also maybe if like say black play this thing, queen b2, and then take this, and what black will be checkmated lah. In many ways lah. There are a lot of ways to checkmate lah. If you play nf6 and then you have this bishop d4, and you can checkmate lah later on. You can either get the queen or checkmate. So that's one of the danger of the initiative. This is what we call initiative. White giving black a pawn and even a knight and even another pawn, but in return white gain time. So always be careful. If your opponent offers something free, be careful. If the offering is because the opponent make blunder, just take it. But if the opponent know what he's doing, then be careful about that thing. Maybe he have some surprise for you. Okay, so that's king gambit lah. The idea in king gambit is speed, is development, in development. So okay, what to do? Okay, so okay, in the next class later on, I will explain about the how to play against king gambit and so on. Because even though you don't play king gambit, but at least by learning about that, you sort of study how to tame, how to sort of like play against the initiative. If let's say people give you free gambit, free pawn, and so on, how to play against them. So in the next class also I will explain about the Mora gambit, this Berlin, whatever, so on. So we will talk that in the next class. But before we finish, and not finish yet, it's already 4:20, still have time. But so I will continue the opening and middle game, because when I talk about the opening and middle game, is combined lah together. So next class we will talk again, we continue again with the gambit and so on. But I want to show you what is the use of preparing, learning about the opening. One is to prepare against your opponent. So let's go here, is to prepare against the opponent. So let me show you one game. So for example, this one game, let me open this thing. Let me put here, and then let me go by database. Let me go to Maksum. Let me go to this what we call my games. Okay, my games. Okay, so this is basically the game that I put in my database. This is my own game. So yeah, after the game I will put the data here. So I want to show you the idea of preparing against the opponent. Okay, for example, in 2012, I think 2012, I think. Here when I so here London Classic. Okay, so here. Okay, they withdraw blah blah blah. What is the schedule? Okay, so this guy, I want to show this game. Okay, so this game is basically me against one of Nigerian. So the schedule midweek way. Basically the rating here is basically the FIDE rating lah. It's not like online rating and so on. Okay, I want to show you how I plan playing about this, because when you play classical, because this is London Chess Classic, meaning that you have like in one day only play 2 games only. Okay, so you know your opponent in advance. You know, let's say, okay, tomorrow I will play this guy. So you can prepare in advance. Normally, when you prepare against the opponent that you don't know, normally you prepare against their opening lah. You don't know how they play their end game, middle game, can be different lah. But normally what you can prepare, if you know your opponent, you prepare their opening. Okay, so I don't know this guy. I don't know this Maduek Day, whatever this guy. So basically what I did is that I just Google this guy. So let me go to Google. So I can find this Google Chedui Madige. No, I just can find it in my database. Just put this name. So I just go here. Let's say I take the name lah. I take the name first. Chedui Madige. Control C. Okay, and then I go to my. Imagine now this is before the game. This is before the game. I go to the database. I go to this mega database, whatever. And then I try to find this guy. Okay, I try to find this guy. So you have this thing. Normally, this people who play in the FIDE tournament, normally they already play in previously lah. So I put the name Chidu Maduk Day. Okay, so I want to find is there any game from him from my database. Okay, this is what I did during that time lah. During that time, I open my database and I put the name Madwik, okay, whatever the name, and then I and then it will sort of like find the game by this Madwik Day, Madwik Way, whatever the name. So I saw that this guy played a lot, and you see, previously their what you call, his rating is quite high lah, to 2 something like that. And then I want to see how he play. Oh, by the way, this rating is classic lah. Normally you can find your rating by going to this thing. For example, you want to find rating for Mizan. Let's say Mizan Izzati, FIDE. You just write FIDE at the next. You can just go there. So this is Mizan Izzati Matzin. So you just click there, and then you can see this thing. You can see all this thing. You can see the rating for Mizan for standard. Standard mean, okay, whenever you see something here, whenever you see on this, where is the lot, mega database. Whenever you see the rating in any database or any any website, normally any database, this rating, whatever rating that you see, is basically the rating of this standard. Standard mean classical, meaning that at least you need to play 1 hour, at least 45 minutes or 1 hour lah, at least minimum. For time control is 1 hour per person or 45 minutes per person lah, or at least 30 minutes and above. Rapid, previously we don't have this out. Previously 10 years ago we don't have rapid or bliss. We don't have this. They don't have bliss or rapid. The way how to get this rating is by playing any FIDE tournament lah. Okay, for example, let Safiddin if I put the name of Safiddin let me Safiddin, your name is what Safiddin Tahir. Safiddin Tahir, let's say I take this, Ctrl C, and then I put this, Ctrl V, and then you put FIDE. If I find the Safiddin, there are no rating for Safiddin. Meaning that even though in league chess you see Safiddin is very good, but he never play in any, I don't know, but according to here, he never play in any FIDE tournament. Okay, any FIDE tournament. So in order to get this rating, you need to play at least, you need to play and in FIDE tournament one thing, and you need to play at least against 9% rated player. 9 rated player in order to get the rating. If you win, then you increase lah. If you lose, then you decrease in terms of rating. So this is a rating for Mizan. You can see also all this detail lah, individual calculation and so on. Maybe I will discuss about how I prepare again Mandate Day later on in the next class. But before we end, because the preparation against this my opponent, I will discuss next time lah, next class. But just now, before we end, I just want to show you about how to what is this rating mean lah. In order to get this rating, you need to play what we call a few games. So you can see Mizan for the standard. Normally I don't really look at this bliss or rapid. I just look at standard lah. Standard. Normally any rating they focus on standard lah. So you see Mizan play here July 2019. When she play, she got 23 rating increase. So you can click that and then you can see who she play against lah. So you see against Chua blah 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 is lost. When you lost, you rating is get minus If your, because Mizan her rating is 1 to something, he lost against this 1-6 something, so the point that deducted is quite minimal lah. It's quite minimal. So you see here Li Junjun 1553, Mizan is 1 to this is rating opponent. I don't know rating. So here the rating for her opponent is higher than her. So that's why when you win, you get like jump in terms of jump lah, 34 like that straight away. So this Lin Kim Ha lost a draw, and you see the rating also high. So that's why it got a lot of like rating change, the improvement, the addition of the rating. But here you see again Darshan 1281 is more or less the rating of her, of Mizan. She lost. So because of that, you see the cost, it costs like -17. So depending on who you play, what you play, and then the rating of your opponent, you will either gain a lot of point or lose a lot of point. It depends lah. It depends. So that is Mizan, and also the rapid, rapid and so on. You can just put your name lah. If let's say you don't have, for example, Safiddin, then you have nothing lah. You don't have nothing. Whenever you play in FIDE, it's automatically you registered lah. So for example, let's say I put Nuril lah. Nuril. Huzaifi lah. Huzaifi. I put Huzaifi or Mio lah. I think Mio lah. Mio is Ctrl C. Let's put Mio. Ctrl V. Okay. So Mio have also FIDE, but if you look here, I think still have a standard rating. So meaning that Mio already play in some of the long game. So let's see Nuril. I think Nuril also have, right? I think Nuril also have. I want to show you something. Here, Ctrl V, and then I put here Nuril Syufanatu Afifi. Okay. If you look here, Nuril not rated standard. Meaning that what? Meaning that Nuril never play in FIDE classical tournament that is 30 minutes or 40 minutes above you need to play that and also need to play against the rated opponent lah. If you play in the FIDE tournament, but then you play against non-rated player, then you don't get rating lah. So that's why Nuril doesn't have rating yet. But if you look here, if you look individual calculation, you see Nuril, you see here, blah 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 blah, available. Okay, available and nothing. So even though available, even though Nuril have been playing in rated tournament here, if I click there, it's not enough. Only 2%. You need to play again at least 9% cumulative in order to get a rating lah. Rating. So Nuril is not enough lah. So that thing lah. So you can put your name and you can see also progress chart and so on. You can see Nuril progress. No, not Nuril, because Nuril doesn't have this thing, result statistic and so on, progress. Why there are no progress? For example, you can put my name and also you can see, but for this you can see progress. So you can see progress for, it's like a lichess, but this is more what we call more recognized. Lichess is just for the ni lah. It's more recognized lah. You can put also my name. There you can find my name, because when you play in FIDE tournament, your name will be inside this database. Maybe, I don't know, maybe, let me put Mak Zain. Filter, Ctrl F. Sekejap, let me put Mak Zain, because you need to find the Mizan. I don't know whether Mizan is in the database or not. Okay, maybe that tournament, even though FIDE is not, maybe the later lah I check, but not today lah. Because sometimes your games in this database, whatever and so on. So I think for today, we will stop here. Next class, I will continue first about how I prepare again Madweek Day, the one that I just show. I don't know which one is quite a lot of here. How I prepare against this Madweek Day. So this is the guy, okay, the Madweek Day. So we will see how I prepare for this guy. It's not really preparation, but at least I remember this time is the first time I try to prepare against someone lah, because I have free time that time. So this next class I will tell you, and we will continue about the opening and also middle game, the Gambit and so on. And yep. So next class will be on, let me see here, Google Sheet. Okay, next class, next coaching session will be on, not tomorrow, will be on Wednesday 9 to 11, opening and middle game. Oh, by the way, I already upload this morning. It's already on YouTube in the playlist. You can just see this morning video recorded video on playlist. So I will put this what we call this current video later in the evening, but in the morning video you already see that. So that's it for today. It's already 33. So any question? No question. So if you have any question, you can just ask through the WhatsApp. For time being, as I said, this week I'm talking, next week you're talking. Okay, so see you on Wednesday. So we end our any question WhatsApp in WhatsApp group lah. Tomorrow you will start the second. Tomorrow you will start the second phase of the league. Tuesday you start the second league. So try to what we call to deal with Safiddin. Safiddin is quite comfortable in the top now. So try. So let me open just for a while. Let me open this the what we call the list. Let me close this first. Yes. Let me close this first. What is this? No, cancel lah. Cancel. No. Let me open this first. Let me see. Let me what we call. Chess base. Okay. So let me open this first. Let me pull the Mushroom League. go to Masum League, and then let me go open for the last, open the statistic, open the cross table lah, Control A, and then go to statistic, not statistic but cross table. I think maybe because I put I have already opened a lot of things now, because I'm just using the, see, I'm using just a laptop, so that's a problem, because I've opened many things. But anyway, you know, in the this morning I show you the list, the what we call the list for leaderboard for today's. Oh, patutlah because I buka ni. So let me again. Wait just 1 minute. Okay, and then I can do a cross table, and then you get that. Okay, so you see Safiddin is still on the top, so please do something to him. It's quite comfortable there. So starting tomorrow is the second phase of the league, so try to achieve the top 3. There are prize for the top 3, not much, but at least, yeah, you get something. For the sister, please try to get at least 3 point lah, at least 3 point, minimum 3 or 3 to 4 point lah, at least try to get 3 to 4 point lah, at least here. And then Mizan try to maybe you the only person, the only sister can sort of like challenge this guy on the podium. So Mio, do your best. Okay, and then the rest, please do your best lah. So hopefully we will see by the end of this league, we will see who will get the podium, who will be crowned as the best of the best, because this is against all the player, not against brother with brother, sister with sister, against all the player of the URA, which is strong. So try to get something, because next year maybe Safiddin is not there here, Mizan is not here, so you lose the opportunity to play against the strong player anymore. Nuril also, I don't know, Nuril is still here. Huzaifi still new, Faiz still here, Hafiz maybe not, maybe yes. So we will see. So try to do something for the second league. Second league start tomorrow. So with that, I think we will end our our session today with recitation of Tasbih Kafarah and Suratul As.